We're from That Computer Chick. We're going to go into a more technical aspect of everything that's going on here tonight, and I apologize. We're running a little short on time, so I'm going to skim over a lot of what we had prepared because it's been covered somewhat by the previous presenters here. This is Crystal, and I'm Kimberly. I'm one of the owners, and she's been with us for a long time. I do have a special email address for anybody that wants to follow up with any questions on this. You're welcome to email us at parents@thatcomputerchick.com. You can be as technical or as not technical as you want. There are no dumb questions. We've gone over a little bit of the content filtering. There's two ways of doing this: by having a device in your household and by individual devices themselves. The device in your household, that's your router or your Wi-Fi box, is going to have built-in. You can also add a box for that. Each device in your household will also have parental controls built in, or you can add third-party software for either one of these devices to control your content within your household or content within the device itself. The content that you're going to filter is by site or by category. The other best way to practice this is by establishing family standards and talking about them and use them consistently. Time limits are also available on these content filters. There's times where you can disable all internet access. There's times where you can set it per person, depending on how you're set up. And the practices that you can use that control time limits that everything's available is having a family charging station, turn in devices at night, like they were mentioning, having a basket at the front door where everybody turns in the devices, or at night all the children bring the devices to a charging station outside of the bedrooms.
So it's also important with your passwords not to use the same password for everything. So if you have a password for web content stuff, you don't want that to be the same password as PayPal or for your iTunes. And you also don't want it easy to guess, because if it's your oldest child's first name, they're going to start cycling through everyone's names until they figure out which one it is. So do something like lipstick and replace the I's with ones, and then just have it's annoying, I know, but have a different password for everything. And with social media, there's a million of them, and you need to talk to your children about what they're posting, because depending on what they post can get them targeted by bad people. And so just a good rule of thumb is whatever social media, whatever they're posting, just make it private, don't make it public.
We all can recognize this certain tweet that had been deleted from the internet. This is a good example of internet content can be forever. Once you post it, it can be stored somewhere. It can be screenshot by somebody else. It can be photographed from another device. There are apps where you're not supposed to be able to screenshot what somebody sent you, and it doesn't stop them from taking a picture with another device. When you delete it, maybe it's stored in your backup somewhere. So once you post it, know that you may never get rid of that, and think before you post. That's another message that really needs to go through to the children, because future employers are going to look at all of that content in the hiring process.
And so another good idea to cut down on, children looking at pornography, or anyone looking at pornography really, is to only allow using devices in a common area, like the family room, like the dining room, and have the screens looking out so that no one's hiding in a room looking at it. And if you absolutely have to use a device in the bedroom, There are reasons, but just the screen has to face the door, leave the door open, and just pop your head around the corner and look at the screen. You don't even have to say hi. They don't even have to know you're looking. Just, no kid's gonna look at porn if they know you're watching.
So the main point here is we want to have you talk with your children, with your family, have these practices in place. You talk now, you talk often. This is a regular discussion that happens in the household. Everybody has limits and expectations within your family. We've talked about having accountability between family members, and it's a great idea. We want you to know that the internet is a fun and safe place when you're prepared. Just like when you were talking to your children before going to the park and you had the stranger danger talk, you're going to talk with your children before and while they're using the internet. Thank you.
All right, if we could have one more round of applause for our presenters tonight. We have really appreciated, so appreciate their time coming here, traveling, and all the work that they've put into it. And we've all been enlightened here tonight, so thank you so much. So our kids are done in the auditorium. So what we're going to do now as quickly as possible in just a minute is to switch places.